Adele, live in London with Matt Lauer.
Look who's playing Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah.
I mean, can you describe the moment? I mean, when you stood on the stage for rehearsals and just looked at the bones of the building, what went through your mind?
Well, I mean, I've been there a lot, you know, when I was younger, to see shows and stuff, and living in London and being British, but also kind of around the world. It's a renowned venue. Do you know what I mean? Everyone kind of knows of it, or they've at least heard of it. So yeah, it gave me complete shivers, and it was a moment I'll never forget.
So were you nervous when you actually stood up on stage with the crowd there?
Yeah, I kind of took the full throttle of the fact that I was about to play Royal Albert Hall. So I wasn't as bad as when I went on stage as when I normally am. I'm normally super, super nervous. But with the crowd there, it was incredible. It was scary.
It's symbolic of the year, though. I mean, when you really think about it, that is a major career accomplishment for any artist. And it was really just a fitting part of this year you've had. What was the pinch me moment in the year?
I think the Grammys was the pinch me moment of my life, really. It's going to sort of be up there in the top moments of my life ever. And, you know, I'm still young, I've got so many other things to do, and I doubt I'll ever achieve anything quite as spectacular as that night. I was thinking about it a little bit last night when I was thinking about this interview and stuff like that, and I got a bit choked up because it's amazing to do so well anyway, you know, and to have so many people want to see you live and hear your record and have a record touch so many people that you don't know. It's like, it's so bizarre having that many people relate to something that you've gone through. And I remember feeling so alone when I was going through it, and there's like 25 million people that are like, yeah, I get what she's saying.
One of the things I want to talk about, was it 6 months that you basically couldn't sing?
Well, yeah, my voice went on the 1st of October, well, the one when I had to have my surgery, 1st of October, and then Feb 12th was when I sang again for the first time properly. In
some ways was because of all that was swirling around you and this career that was just exploding. And I don't want to ever say that going through that is a good thing, because I know it was very, you know, tumultuous and trying for you. Was that pause helpful, though?
I don't know, it was kind of, I felt like I needed a bit of a rest, but at the same time I don't like cancelling shows because it takes a lot for me to give up my money to go and see someone play live. So I really appreciate the fact that these people, you know, sort of spend their monthly sort of treat allowance coming to see me, and so I was really, really gutted about having to let all of those people down.
So the disappointing people bothered you, but what about the ability to sit at home for a longer period of time than you had in a long time and just take a deep breath?
Yeah, I mean, it was lovely. I was knackered. I was really, really tired. And I also needed a little bit of time to be like, am I all right with this? Is this a bit too big for me, maybe? And stuff like that. But at the same time, it was recovering. I didn't have time off, do you know what I mean? Recovering from, you know, a polyp and stuff isn't really time off. I couldn't talk to anyone. That was quite nice, actually, because I'm so mouthy normally. It was quite nice just being an observer and not be able to kind of argue with anyone or, you know, kind of have debates, which I love.
Some really big names in the music industry reached out to you during that period of time.
Yeah. Oh, it was amazing. It was such a lonely period. Like, even though all of my team and all of my friends and family really rallied around me, and all my fans did as well. You know, I read lovely messages and stuff like that. I felt really scared and really lonely, and as much as they were all there, I felt like no one understood. And then I just started getting, you know, obviously John's kind of my peer, John Mayer, and he was so brilliant. He really calmed me down, and he could always sort of pick up my tone in the emails of how scared I was, and he'd be like, look, you know, it's this, it's that. And then I was getting emails from like Roger Daltrey and Elton John and Steven Tyler, who've been going for decades and decades.
And at that point, when you start to hear from these legends, do you start to say, wait a minute, I'm in a whole different crowd here?
Yeah. The night before the Grammys, Elton John called me at the hotel room. I had no idea who it was. And he just started chatting away to me, and it was really... And I passed the phone on to a friend, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's Elton. It still cracks me up. So, yeah, no, it was... it did make me think a little bit like, oh, my God, it's a bit another level now.
Entertainment Weekly did an issue where they said, here are the 30 greatest artists right now. You were #1. And it's nice to smile at, but is it possible to live a little in the shadows even when that kind of adulation is being heaped on you?
I think I'm doing a pretty good job of it at the moment. It is a bit hard, especially sort of, you know, like after the awards this year. It was really horrible. The press were outside my house all the time. They're going through my rubbish, harassing all of my family, had paps camped outside my 65-year-old nan's house and, you know, throwing stones at her windows and stuff like that.
Do you ever wonder what they're looking for, what story they're trying to figure out?
I don't know. I mean, I would have thought that every kind of bit of juice on me's come out by now, do you know what I mean? And I think they're obviously a little bit like, hang on, there's not really any juice on this girl, surely that's not possible. But there isn't, you know. I have no secrets, I never have, and I've always talked so openly about things. So I don't know what they're looking for. But I mean, it has started to calm down now, and I have had to become a complete recluse in order for that to happen. I've managed to sort of stay out of the public eye recently. But the other day, I walked through Trafalgar Square on a Saturday afternoon.
Describe the scene. What was happening?
Well, I mean, I was a bit worried. I was in my pyjamas as well, because I'd been working the day before, so all I had were these awful, I was in colour. I'm always in black. I had floral tracksuit bottoms on, this massive green coat, and some little pink pumps. And
so wait a second, nobody recognized you?
Nobody recognised me. A couple of people looked round, but they were like, no, she's in colour. And what would she be doing walking through, like, you know, a packed Trafalgar Square on a Saturday?
Pyjamas.
In pyjamas. Yeah.
I read somewhere that you said you think people would probably be surprised at just how carefree and happy you are.
Yeah, I think they would be. And that's always been the case, you know. Apart from, like, you know, kind of like the deep depths of my despair when I've kind of, you know, in fact, the despair that I was in on my first album pales into comparison to how I felt when I was writing 21. It really was a coming-of-age record, and I honestly thought the world was over. My maturity is probably more like 19 when I was 21 than how it was when I was actually 19 and writing that record. But yeah, apart from, you know, being up, everyone knows what it's like to be upset, whether it's about someone not wanting to be with you, or whether it's just you didn't get a job, or you didn't get a grade, or, you know, you're just falling out of a friend. It's horrible at the time. And, but yeah, I bounced back really quickly.
Do you ever feel as if you've given up too much information at this stage in your career? You do?
Yeah, I do.
Would you like to take some of it back?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because I really do wish that there's been loads of stories of the papers trying to out who my ex-boyfriend was, and it's just they're boys I know, but they're just my friends, do you know what I mean? And it's really intrusive on their life. But I do wish I'd kept a lot of things to myself, but also I never knew the album was going to be so big. Do you know what I mean? So, and I'd hate, you know, I'd hate to ever go into, I mean, I will be more wary when I go into things now, you know. And
but that's a little sad, actually.
It is really sad, but it's also, you know, to protect people that I love. I know for me that it comes with the territory, but I don't see why my career and my lifestyle choices should affect people who it's not their dream. It's got nothing to do with them.
It's a double-edged sword, because as a songwriter, you have to be able to tap into that experience.
Yeah.
And yet, if you tap into it too much, then somebody else feels the pain of it.
I think in the songs I can still be really, really honest, but I think when I'm in interviews, when I'm explaining my songs, I just shouldn't be so direct and so rude about who they're about.
If your exes were to write songs, what would they sound like?
I don't know, but I'd myself, so I feel sorry for them.
For those of you watching at home, what she just said was...
Yeah, no, I'd be mortified. But also, if they wrote songs about me, they'd probably be like, yeah, this song's about Adele. I've never given any names, ever. Do you know what I mean? So everyone's going to know the song's about me. No one actually knows who my song's about.
One thing our viewers tonight will not see, perhaps I should say will not hear a lot of.
My foul language.
Your body. I mean,
dirt mouth.
You have dirt mouth. It's this juxtaposition. There you are in this beautiful dress, singing these beautiful songs, and here come the F-bombs.
I know.
Where does that come from?
I don't know. It's so weird because my family don't really swear much. I did think I'm not going to swear. I'm going to be really good, and then I walked on stage, and the second word I said was the swear word.
I'm not going to swear. It took 4 seconds.
I know, awful.
There's something I loved in the concert. There's a part where you're talking to the audience, and you look up and you say, "Did you get my note?"
Yeah.
Someone in seat 113 over there, did you get the letter that I left for you? Did you get it? Oh, good, I'm glad you got it. I did a little interview in the seat over there, so I left a note on the chair.
What'd you write?
Just, hi, thanks for coming to my show. I sat here earlier for an interview or a photo shoot.
You know that person sat down and thought it was
probably
a complete joke, that it was not
fake.
you.
Yeah, probably.
You talk about your presentation, and it is basically you up on stage.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you have not fallen into, and maybe it's just not, it doesn't work with your music, but there are no scantily clad male dancers
No.
hoisting you above their head, and there is no bumping and grinding.
No.
Has anyone ever tried to pressure you to jazz it up a little bit?
No, not really. You know, occasionally I've wanted to jazz it up a little bit for, like, you know, the VMAs. I wanted, even though I knew I was doing Someone Like You and it was a ballad, which obviously, you know, greased up men won't work. You know, kind of doing a routine behind me for that. You know, I wanted to do something quite spectacular with the lighting, but it actually ended up just drawing away from the song. You know, I'm very proud of that song, and I don't want anyone getting kind of distracted when I'm doing that song. You know, if they kind of, if you know, if I have their attention, I want to keep it just on me. And so, you know, whenever I have wanted to kind of shake things up a little bit, I've actually realised I don't actually like it very much. And I love going to shows where there are huge dance routines and explosions and, like, you know, drama. I love it, but it doesn't suit my music. That's the simple fact. It doesn't suit my music, and I won't carry it off well enough. Not that I've ever tried, but I just know that, you know, I wouldn't.
Are you a dancer? Can you
Oh,
move?
I can when I'm drunk. You know, back in the day when I was loving a drink, I would do all sorts of dance routines. But no, I don't like dancing. Actually, my body doesn't really have any rhythm, you know. I've got quite good rhythm, like, you know, when I'm singing and stuff. No, really, my feet, like, very much two left feet.
You also have a great way of breaking down barriers with the people in the live audience. I love what you said to them about your encore.
I'm just going to pop off stage and pretend that I'm not coming back. But I will. I won't be gone very long. I normally just take my shoes off and have a sip of water and trot back on.
Unless you're Paul McCartney or Bob Dylan or, you know, Barbra Streisand, I don't really think you have the kind of clout to do an encore because you don't have that many songs, and they know what songs you're going to do next. Do you know what I mean?
So to take the mystery out of it.
Yeah, yeah. But also, I always forget to say thank you very much. My sound guy used to say this to me. He used to go, you know, at the end of the main set, say thank you very much, good night, and I'd never do it. So I just wander off, and everyone would be like, well, where's she going? You know, she gone? Like, do you know what I mean? So I just sort of, so he was like to say good night to them. So I started saying, right, good night, I'll see you later. I'll see you in a minute. I'll be back. So I just started saying that instead.
Is there a possibility that 5 years from now we're going to sit down and you're going to sit there and say, what was your name again?
No,
Are you sure?
No, I don't think so at all. I don't think that's in me. It certainly hasn't happened.
But you know, every artist at that stage says, no, that's not in me. And then all of a sudden they look and they go, how did I become such a diva?
I know, but I mean, you know, I've sort of lived with selling 20 million records for about 6 months now, and it hasn't kicked in yet.
Yeah.
I think I'll be all right. But I don't know, you know, I can be hard work, but only if no one's listening to me, and I have a brilliant team. So they do always listen to me and let me have my point, and, you know, even just let me vent. And if they let me make a decision, even if it's a little bit wrong, you know, to make me learn my lesson and stuff like that. So I've never any need to kick up.
On the one hand, some people who write about you like to make it sound like you're a planner, that you plot out things and you have carefully looked at where you want to be, for example, in 5 years. And other articles I read about you made it seem much more haphazard.
Yeah.
Much more that you kind of like to sit back and let things just unfold.
Yeah, I think it is. I am more like that, I think. I've certainly never sort of assessed myself or my life or my career and been like, well, this is what I want to do by then. Never. I've never, ever been like that. But I know exactly who I don't want to be. So, you know, I'm quite good at saying yes and no to things that I do get offered.
Which is, you don't want to be, I don't mean a name.
I don't want to be a celebrity. I don't want to be a celebrity. I don't want to be in people's faces. And I feel a little bit like I am in people's faces because even though I have hardly done anything because of all of my voice issues,
right.
You know, my music's constantly on radio, it's constantly on TV, like it's, you know, constantly covers of magazines that I haven't even known I'm on. And
but that's not what you mean by being a celebrity. That's kind of, that happens outside your control. Yeah,
but it also, you know, if there's more and more stuff on you, the more that people want to kind of have their eyes on you, and that makes the tabloid press make up stories that 98% of them aren't really true. And that's very much a celebrity thing to me. So, you know, if something's going too well, I will take a seat back and just let it unravel on its own.
It's one thing to be the most talked about singer in the world right now. Mm. Do you want to be the most talked about singer in the world 10 years from now?
No. I just want to make music. I don't want anyone chatting about me. I mean, I still hope I have a little bit of clout in 10 years. But all I've ever wanted to do is sing. I don't want anything getting in the way, and I got given the opportunity by record labels and by my management and now by the public just to sing, and I just want it to stay like that.